So what we're going to do here is we're going to do a line, circle, arcs practice drawing. The first thing I want you to do is come down here below, and as you see all these blue buttons that are turned on, is go down there and turn those off. So we're going to start with all those off. Turn off that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. And now we're going to really start looking at what some of these things do. Alright, so first off we're going to go L for line, and enter, and we're going to come in here and start drawing a line. Now, with this line, I want you to try to draw a square box. So I'm going to come down here about like this, up to there, and over to there. Once I get to the end, I'm going to hit escape to cancel out of that line command, and then I'm going to take a look at that box. It doesn't look too bad, but if I zoom in here on this corner, I can see that these ends didn't line up just right. The actual new version of AutoCAD, these last couple versions, you can get close and it will actually connect you exactly. But you're still not using the tools in CAD to do that. I'm going to show you what those all mean here in a little bit. This line here on the top, if I pull it up there to the edge, you can see that one's really not very straight. So there, I don't have all my tools on there to draw some nice straight lines. So there, I just drew that simple box. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add in some things. So the next one I'm going to add in, I'm going to turn on, is this second one over. It's called snap mode. So I'm going to turn on my snap, and go line, and here I want you to notice what's a little bit different as you move your mouse. So again, that was L enter for the line command. Notice as this moves across, there's my 1-inch line, 1.5, 2, 3. It only moves, your mouse jumps around, and it stays on a 1/2-inch increment. So with that, it's really pretty quick and easy to draw a nice little square box. That is an option. But the only problem with that is sometimes when your mouse jumps around, sometimes you can't get on what you want it to get on. Snap is kind of a thing that, 20 years ago when I learned on CAD, that was a thing. But anymore, Snap isn't real widely used because there's so many other better tools to use than Snap. So with that, I'm going to turn Snap back off, and we're going to jump over to our next one. Our next one is this next button over. It's called Ortho mode. So I'm going to click on it, turn Ortho on. I'm going to start my line again here beside this box, and notice what Ortho does. Ortho keeps you locked in to where you can only draw lines straight up and down or straight side to side. So here, I'm going to start my line there, come over, up, back across, and back down. Now my only problem with Ortho is it keeps me locked in perfectly straight, but it didn't get these things still ended up perfectly on the end. So that still isn't helping me out. Now, I have been doing this some, and this is kind of the first video where I told people about this. I've been zooming in and out, getting closer or farther away from my drawing. To do that, you scroll your middle mouse button. You roll that little wheel there in the middle, and it zooms you in and out. When you want to move side to side, you click and hold on that middle mouse button, and that's called pan, and it pans you side to side, or up and down. So it slides you around, gives that little hand on the screen, and you can do those things. Alright, so now back to what we were doing. So again, that was the line command. Or sorry, not the line, the ortho command. Right next to ortho is another button. If you click on it, I'm not going to turn the other ortho off, I'm just going to click on the next button. And notice it automatically turns the other off. That's because you can only have one or the other of these on. This one is called polar tracking. Polar tracking is similar to ortho, but works a little bit differently. What it does is as I'm drawing my line to the side, it locks in with a dotted line when I'm straight across, side to side, or when I'm straight up and down. But I can draw other lines in between still. I can draw angled lines wherever I want to here. But when I want to go straight, it will lock into straight. Now there are options on the polar command. I usually keep mine set to the second option. Again, I didn't really show you that. To get to the options, you hit on this down arrow. I usually keep mine set to the 45, 90, 135. What that does is it lets you lock in every 45 degrees. So here, I can lock in at 45 degrees and draw the lines. So actually, now this one I'm going to cancel out. With this one, with polar, locked in a 45 degree increment, what I want you to do is, let's draw a stop sign or an octagon over here. So we're going to come to the side to there. Again, I have that set to a 45 degree angle, so I can come up here to 45, back to there, back to there, about there, and down to there, and then back to the beginning. And once again, really didn't finish it off perfectly there, but one of our next things we're going to be doing will help us out with that. So we're going to pan here a little bit to the side. I'm going to go ahead and leave polar on. Polar is one that you commonly draw with all the time. The next one over. This one is isometric drafting. You turn it on, it turns your cursor kind of weird. Red and green, sets it at a weird angle. We're not really going to do anything with that now. Here in several weeks or a month or so, we will be doing some isometrics. For right now, we're going to ignore that. Just know if you ever get your cursor looking green here and red, you might have hit this button by accident. So we'll turn that back on. Next one over is show snapping reference lines. It's object tracking is what that is. This is a handy one. All right, so what this one's going to do, as I'm drawing something, you can go ahead and start another box here. I'm going to draw my line over, draw my line up. Now with this line over, I want it to be the same length as this line. This is what tracking does for you. Tracking, I can come down here. Oh, and actually, I said the tracking, but one thing with tracking is you need to use it in conjunction with object snap. So you need to have it on also. Didn't think about that before. So both tracking and object snap. Now, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to hover over the end of that line. It gives me that little endpoint symbol. And now notice how it gives that dash vertical line there. So here I have a dash vertical line, dash horizontal line means it's locked in there and exact. If I click right here, it's going to end perfectly on that spot. And come down below, and it goes either perpendicular there or end there. And that makes a perfect square. So now we're getting into where you actually have some things set that really help you out for drawing some stuff. Okay. One other little side step is here on your O-snaps. You did work with these the other day, but what we are going to work with today is going to be endpoint, midpoint, center, and I think you can leave intersection and perpendicular on. I think that's fine. So turn those 5 O-snaps on, and you'll be ready to go with what we're going to do next. All right, there, you got great lines. Now, next thing I was going to show you is just circles. So if you go C for circle, and come out here on the screen and click again, you draw a circle. Now, and I've said this several times throughout this, is go C, enter for circle, L, enter for line. One thing to also know, and I said this in this video the other day when we did it or this lesson, spacebar does also the exact same thing as enter. So if you see somebody that's good at CAD, you're going to see them, they have one hand hovering over top of the keyboard and going L and then spacebar. And you'll see somebody go C and then spacebar. I do it so fast and so automatically people don't even usually notice that I'm hitting the spacebar. Because if you put your hands on the keys like you're going to be typing an L or a C or a T, notice where your thumb is. Your thumb's hanging right there over the top of the spacebar. So it's just so quick and easy to hit TR for trim and space, or L for line and space. It's very quick, very easy to do, and you'll see people doing that and just whipping through your AutoCAD commands so quickly because they are getting very efficient with CAD. So once you start doing that, you're going to start noticing you're going to become really efficient with that. All right, so now back to what we were doing. So C again and space for your circle command. And what I want you to do here is just kind of try to get some circles on the screen quickly. So hit your spacebar again and go click and click. Spacebar again, go click and click. Just repeat this several times and draw a bunch of circles on the screen. If you have 8 or 10 circles or 10 or 12 circles on the screen, you're good. But that's just trying to get you some consistency, some quick repeating of the command, and get a bunch of circles on the screen. So that right there is basically what it's showing you about the circle command, and you're good. So now next, arc command. So arc is A, enter, but again, I always hit the space bar, so it's A space. And the way your arc command works is like this. You pick your first part of your arc, first point, the start point of the arc. Next, you're going to pick the midpoint of the arc. So let's say I want the midpoint to be about here, and then you can pick the last point. Now, if you go really crazy, you can get these way off the screen and all over the place. Don't do that. Keep it under control a little bit, and put a little arc in somewhere on the screen. Hit your space bar, and put another arc somewhere on the screen. It can overlap stuff. That's just fine. Hit space bar, put another arc, space bar, put another arc, and add in some arcs there. Now, once you finish one of your arcs, let's say right there, click, finish that arc. Now what I want you to do is hit enter twice, or spacebar twice, enter, enter, and notice what it does. It connects your arc back to where you started from. I want you to go ahead and do this a few times and make a connected arc, or it's called a continuous arc. So there, and enter, enter, there, enter, enter, there, enter, enter, so on and so forth. Again, you can get kind of crazy with this, or it jumps clear off the screen. Try to avoid that temptation. And finish this out. I'm going to try to finish mine where it's a nice, look how pretty that arc is. A little bit of a bump there, but hey, it looks kind of like a giant nose. There we go. So there's kind of that. That's basically it for the assignment. Just a little bit of playing with lines, circles, arcs. You're there. That's looking great. All right. Carry on. Oh, wait. You do need to save this. Save this to your practice drawing. Or try practice drawing. Practice folder as lines, circles, arcs. And then upload this to Student View. Do a snipping of it. And upload that to Student View as lines, circles, arcs. So, there you go. Good luck.